What? We're gonna jump right in. Cause I didn't have the patience to try to talk over puppies for too long. Hello, hello. Hi. Welcome back to more FF16. Child, calm down, or I will squish you. You get it? Good. Stop. This child, I swear to God. Leave alone, puppy. Alright, what were we doing? We were... Alright, dropping off dead bodies. Right. And we gotta go the long way around, it looks like. Yeah. Both don't stop, I'm gonna lock you both in a cage. But yeah, both in a crate and have you cool down. What the hell? Why is there an Araman here? Okay.
Do you think it's spotted us, Torgal? What am I saying? Of course it has. It's a floating eyeball.
Oh god.
Give me thunder!
Freaking hell. I like how Doom at least isn't instantaneous.
Get him! Help me, boy! To me, boy! All yours, Get over here!
Okay, we need to let this expire.
Nice try. Nice try.
What?
Fire and too slow. Nice try.
Okay, 1 second. That was bullshit. What happened there? Is there something I need to know about? Notorious marks. I thought I just read this, but now it looks like I missed something. There we go. So why did he...
Too slow. Over here.
Okay. I don't want to...
Nice try.
Thank God! Hey, Red Shadow! How are you? I'm streaming this late because I have the next 4 days off, so... Yeah, that's why. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? I'm also drinking boba, so don't mind me.
You didn't see that coming.
Ha! Get it? Because he's an eye. Ah, they make jokes here. Ah, very nice, very nice.
That must be the bridge.
Man, I wish I got summer break still. Instead, all you get to look forward to is, well, get 4th of July's off sometimes. Get any other random weird holidays. I mean, you can always take time off.
So shall the waters cleanse thee of thy burden, and bear it out to sea.
And now they are truly free.
I hope so. What of the Imperials?
A
One
pile was
second.
made. It's more than they deserve. We should go back. Cole is worried about Martha.
All right.
Doing alright, all things considered. It's been a very busy couple of weeks. We haven't gotten nearly as much done with our... The boba is good. We're having a roasted tea with brown sugar, which is very nice. But yeah, I got this lingual bar put in because I finished my Invisalign, and I hate it because I keep wanting to rub it with my tongue, and that's terrible, as you can probably imagine. It's a piece of metal. You know, that's a good question. Also, the game is very loud, and I've tried to turn it down, and it's kind of hard without blurring it. But, puppy, stop. Okay. But, well... So... I actually had... a couple of songs recorded. I was going to play during breaks. During breaks in this game. I might. I've slowed down a lot with getting people to follow, but you know. Part of that's on me. I'm not being as active on Twitter and other things. I've also been really not as, what do you call it? I have not been
Best off staying where we are
as
for now, I reckon.
consistent as I have been in the past because the new job keeps throwing me curveballs. So yeah.
No one survived then?
I'm sorry. Before he passed, one of them bade me tell you not to blame yourself.
Does it mean I'm wrong? Does it mean their blood's not on my hands? Cole said you cast their remains. That was good of you.
Stop.
But it should have
Leave
been
her
me.
alone.
This was all my fault.
How? You couldn't have known.
But I did. And I turned a deaf ear to the warnings like the fool I am. The rumors started moons ago. Of black-clad devils descending on villages in the dead of night to slit the throats of sleeping bearers. But I assumed it was all just nonsense concocted by the Empire. Nothing but a ghost story meant to make folk think twice about lending a hand to a fugitive bearer.
And in ordinary times you would have been right. What these Black Shields are doing is unthinkable. Which begs the question, why do it at all? My mother obviously has a hand in this.
Yeah.
I cannot make sense of her actions.
And picking what goes on in that woman's head is a job for someone with more time on their hands. Right now, I need swords and men to wield them, preferably big ones. If those Imperials think they can come in here again and threaten my people, they're in for a rude awakening. Oh, before I forget, a Stolas from Otto landed just before you arrived. He asked me to tell you that Gav has returned.
Then we must as well. Will you be all right here, Martha?
We can stay longer if you wish.
No need. I'll be ready should the Imperials come calling. Though I wouldn't turn my nose up if you were to lend me a pair of them strapping young curse breakers.
That makes sense. You can also take your time to post things to YouTube. Make something a little bit. Create a compilation or something. What is this a side quest or a plus? What is this?
You there! You handy, of course you are. But now, question is, are you willing to use it or not?
Chocobos.
You heard me right. Wild birds? Hmm? The big ones? And
Yeah,
not
that's
just
so
any
good.
chocobos. Whiteheart and her flock are the bravest birds you ever...
Chocobos. Fighting bandits.
It's true. Why, they saved me from a gang of foot... Oh, go on, then. Don't...
All right.
There's a good lad.
Where can I find these chocobos?
I mean, posting cat and dog
Sure, cut
videos,
across the
that's
way
nice.
over yonder.
That's always fun.
Rotten scoundrels were driving the poor things towards the old dock. It's a dead end. You save Whiteheart and her flock, you hear me? There ain't a pluckier bird in all the world. And don't worry,
I'm sure I will.
and good luck to you. And give those no-good bastards a hiding from me.
Oh boy. Okay, we'll go murder. Doesn't look like the normal side quest icon. I wonder if this is how I finally unlock getting a chocobo in this. But yeah,
Whiteheart.
it's been inconsistent.
That's quite a name for a chocobo.
I'm hoping to get more consistent eventually, but you know. I mean, it's hard. You really have to have a good computer to do a lot. And even then, it's not super easy.
A white feather. I thought Ambrosia was one of a kind. Speaking
And it's
of
definitely a
brave
hard
birds,
grind.
Looks like they went that way.
Oh, I gotta go check on my puppy. It sounds like he's eating something he's not supposed to. Okay, he's just playing with one of our guests' little toys. He's going to destroy it. More than likely. It is what it is. I'm not gonna complain.
These chocobos aren't going down without a fight.
She already stole like 2 of his bones, so... Okay,
Got you cornered,
see you then.
Feathers. You didn't think you seen the last of us, did you? You've been bad for business.
Not around here, they weren't.
Oh. And why's that, eh?
Because she's something of a hero in these parts. You hurt her, and I hurt you.
Piss off. Or better still, how about we hurt you both?
All right then. But don't say I didn't warn you.
Oh god. they tell me Clive's bird is alive after 18 years, I'm going to have a conniption.
You're safe now. White Hart, I presume. Do you know her, boy?
Yeah, look at her. She has a scar on her left eye.
It couldn't be. Ambrosia. It is you. You survived. And you found yourself a flock.
Oi! Is it over? I thought I'd come and see how you were getting on. Oh, well, you sorted the bastards then. I knew you would. And the whole flock made it through unscathed.
Thankfully, they did. And not only that.
Well, I'll be. I never stopped to think our hero here might once have been someone's mound. Though I dare say she'd suit a fine fellow like yourself. Reckon our feathered friend must have learned a thing or two from her master. Kind-hearted warrior that you are. Bird like her would have cost a princely sum. You born a lord or something?
Well,
Oh, no, sorry. I didn't mean to pry. Don't matter who you are. You done right by me.
What is it, girl?
She wants her master back, I reckon. Told you. And it seems her pals agree.
Is that it? You want to come with me?
I thought that quest line was different.
Well, bugger me if this ain't a heartwarming sight. The lads down the stables will be hearing about this tonight.
Calm down, puppy.
Stay right where you are.
No pause. Stop. Over here if you want. She's got
Doesn't
a
she
proper eye
cut an
patch
handsome
now.
figure, eh?
She does indeed. How much do I owe you?
Ah, a few scraps of leather's the very least I owe old Whiteheart. Oh, I'll be sad to see her go, of course. But she's earned her right to happiness and more besides. Don't you worry, we'll get along just fine without her. You hear that, Whiteheart? You've earned yourself some time off. You have fun traveling with your master now.
Aw.
You seem awful familiar now I get a proper look at you. That's it. When those chocobos swarmed my cart on the road, didn't you? No, that can't be right. That fellow was a bearer.
Must have been my double.
Oh, must have been, eh? Oh, that'll be the excitement getting to me. Silly sod that I am. Pay me no mind. Anyhow, best be on my way. Good luck to the both of you.
You take care of your flock for now. I'll call you when I need you.
Ambrosia's Tack. Thank God. Hi. Okay, so she can jump too. I wonder if enemies ignore you more when you're on a chocobo. I'm gonna guess they do. Called ignore.
No holding back.
Interesting. Okay. Oh, that's why my mic was so low. It got moved down by the dog when she jumped on me. I was like, why is my voice so low? Because of silliness, Asuka. Silliness. I mostly want to see if there's any other notorious marks around here before I head back. Let's see. I forget, there's like this whole area is really, really big. The Hand of Hyperion. Eastpole. The Dem. Let's travel back from here and see if I run into any other notorious marks. Be nice if I did. Nothing out here. I'm betting we're gonna have some kind of enemy that comes out in the Blight areas, though. Right now, there's nothing, but it would make perfect sense for something to eventually start emerging out here. Either more of the wraiths that we saw in the other location, or something similar.
No need to ride from here.
Oh.
Damn bandits. You'll regret coming here. Go to them!
Oh. Of course there are bandits here.
Come on then.
Head wizard's gone. Well, I don't need steel silk, like at all. I do wish the upgrading and crafting this game was a little more involved. There's a little more to it, but what you gonna do? I guess I should look around. There might be something up over here. Probably still just random bandits. I don't know, maybe there's notorious bandits we can put away. I don't see anybody or anything else in here, unfortunately. A little sad, little sad. What you gonna do? Gonna go back up top up there, though. There were just crayfish in the one area, but there might be something up there now.
Ready,
Let's go. I do like these scarecrows. Black mage scarecrow.
This might take a while.
That's gotta be a notorious mark.
You deserve a rest.
What are you? Belphegor, rank B. 10,000 gil, 20 renown.
A wild wyvern. This area. Too slow.
And he's dead. Nice, very nice.
Oh, there aren't any more of them.
We hunted a C rank and a B rank. Nice. Wonder if there's a... Actually, there is a thing I'm wondering about, whatever is up with that stone. And if we can do something
Let's
with
go.
it now.
Run like the wind.
I'm a little sad. We don't have a riding chocobo theme.
Don't get surrounded.
Just what it is. It just would have been fun to have a... Oh, we're riding the chocobo now. Listen to that riding chocobo music. It's okay. What you're gonna do... Killer bee. Oh god. That was loud.
That'll do, girl.
Fire and flame! Get off!
Okay. Nice, very nice. Give me. Oh. So the chocobo just immediately disengaged here because she's not allowed to be here.
Ready, go?
Okay. Oh, that's the start to a
All right.
perfectly new and interesting chocobo theme, and it's like, nah. We're not gonna give you one. But I want it. Okay, it's alright. Unlike Jon Snow, I do want it. Okay.
Straight home now.
Okay, so we can't activate that right now. That's okay. Let's head back. My chocobo swim
Where's Gav?
is the question.
Finish with that log, so...
Well,
Find is one way of putting it.
ugh, reeks like a chocobo's arse.
Argo. So your boat has a name.
Yeah. Same as my old man. He was a ferryman himself back before the Blight came. The boat's all I have left of him.
Plus 12. Wow. The one I currently have is plus 7, so... That is not a very big upgrade.
Gav should be back by now.
Yeah. Okay, what we got? Reading table, wall of memories, state of the realm. We don't have the guy who we used to report, or would tell us where all the side quests are, unfortunately.
Ah, Clive! Oh, I've missed that scowl.
Where's my report?
What, no kind words for your old pal Gav?
If it's kind words you're after, you're fishing in the wrong barrel. Now sit down, you fool.
So, you remember how quick the Empire was to occupy the Dominion after the fall of Drake's head? And how pissed off all the other nations were that they didn't think to do it first?
Half a century of independence gone at the whim of a madman. So much for their bloody treaty.
Clearly, the promise of unblighted land and the world's supply of crystals was too much for his radiance to resist. And now the Republic's finally decided to follow suit, using liberation as an excuse to declare war on Sambrek. Lined up right outside the Dominion's gates as we speak, looking to starve the Imperials into submission.
And now all eyes are on the Strait of Author.
Well, the two nations beat their shields. The rest sharpen their daggers, ready to set upon the war-weary victor. They'll never see us coming. It's time we moved on the Mothercrystals. Four Mothercrystals remain in Storm and Ash. Drake's Breath near Ironhome. Drake's Fang in Dhalmekia. Drake's Spine in Waloed. And Drake's Tail here in the Crystalline Dominion.
With the bulk of the Republican army marching to Twinside, Drake's Fang will be left exposed.
That is exactly the move Kupka would anticipate. And if there is anything these past 5 years have taught us, is that he loves his traps. There is one place, however, where nobody will be expecting us to go.
Drake's Breath.
There's a shitload of sea between us and it, and I've never been much of a swimmer.
I have an acquaintance in Port Isolde who may be able to help.
Who's that then?
My uncle, Byron Rossfield.
Lord Byron Rossfield of the Seven High Houses, the trade magnate with holdings in over 100 cities. Wait, Rossfield. And you're a Rossfield, of course.
My uncle's name gave him his start in the world, but it was his acumen which earned him his fortune, along with a handsome fleet of ships.
Well, it's settled then. What are we waiting for, eh? Huh?
Well, liberated. A quarter of the world? Once we take down Drake's Breath? It's Drake's Breath.
What are we waiting for, indeed?
You mean other than not rushing to your death, where...
Think it's alright to touch him?
you know, Doom could be waiting. I'm going to assume going out to the Ironblood because we know from the mural art we have Odin, Bahamut, Garuda, Titan, Phoenix, Shiva, Rama, and Leviathan.
Sid, I was hoping to speak to you.
Is everything all right?
Oh, yeah, it's just, well,
It's good to know that something of the old hideaway still lives on.
Martell's pride and joy. I took it on, you see, after she... And not only is it ready, it's actually tasty.
Impressive.
I thought this first harvest could go to the... You couldn't take them some, could you?
Sure, why
Be nice
not?
being the bearer of good news for a...
Oh, thank you. She always had a soft spot for that lot, see? Here you go. Martell apples, they're called. You hear that, Martell?
Okay. Fetch quest. Fetch quest. Okay.
It's not
But this means that what we could do is I'm betting the Ironbloods are gonna have Leviathans surrounding the island.
Come through the forge today.
Or their crystal might just respond by trying to summon Leviathan.
And you say
That's
Sid
also a
built
possibility.
this place. Perhaps they're old enough for the sins of some.
There we go.
Arthur's all right. You two look like you could use something to eat.
Martell. Now, where have I heard?
Weren't she the girl from the Fox?
Course she was.
Aye, and brave as a bane might.
Please aren't those. She'd have been proud.
Calm down, puppy.
A gift from the...
Blimey, these take me back. Old Sid was the only one who could even have them right from the branch. Made Martell livid.
That sounds like the Sid I knew.
Planning on keeping that lot to yourselves, were you? Hang on. I'm glad to see someone carried on what she started. Reckon she'd be happy knowing all her heart. Clive, tell the lad...
Not so much as a thank you. Well, I've got some manners at least. Thanks, Sid. You can leave the basket with me. I'll see that the others get their share. Oh,
Will do.
That was the last of the apples. I should head to the backyard and pass along everyone's regards.
Planning a journey? Clive! Anything catch your eye? Always something in there.
Okay, good. We did all those.
Oh, Clive!
The patron's whisper. Does that mean...
Oh no, that's still me. It's just Karen has her toll, Blackthorn has his ham. I still catalogue every item that arrives. Come to claim your just desserts?
Oh, interesting. So we spend renown points to unlock things.
All yours. You earned this. Best of luck out there, Sid.
Ah, so as we get more.
What's the matter, Nectar? The hunt board? It's where the curse breakers post sightings of particularly fearsome beasts. Just because they can't be dealt with when they're spotted, doesn't mean they can't be dealt with. Right. The people of Valisthea are going through a lot already. The last thing they need is ungodly fiends terrorizing them on top of everything else. And perhaps I can. Or at least I can try.
What hunts do we have? We've killed 2 so far. The Angel of Death, a C rank. Clairview, Sunbreak. We'll go kill that in a moment.
Ah, my favorite pupil. How may I help you today? Of course.
So Ambrosia likes him. Joshua obviously likes him. Friends. Friends. This is kind of nifty. Just give you the breakdown of all of the different people that will— Hey! Stop! Leave her alone, little puppy. God, there's so many people. Holy hell. People who are dead who have their names grayed out.
Here you are.
This is the map as it changes over time. Interactions, etc. God almighty. They put a lot of work into this.
Thus ends today's lesson.
Reminds me of my friend Knight. His book series, more like his giant wiki.
I hear there's trouble.
Really, really in depth. Kind of crazy, honestly. It's a little hard to follow because there's just so much going on. But he has like 2,000 years of history for this one world. And then there's like several eons of history recording things that happen from the beginning of time until some of the major events that start to cause like change in his world and all that kind of stuff. It's really interesting.
The curse breakers send their thanks.
It's kind of impressive, honestly.
They were clearly very fond of Martel.
They remembered
a
her.
lot.
I suppose she was very kind. She put everything into her work. When she died, I named a sapling after her.
And through you.
I didn't do anything.
By the way, Otter...
Of course not. No. They like...
Martell apples. Displayed in Clive's bedchamber. Alright, that's good. If only I could teleport around my place. Having to run around here is going to get a little old after a while, because the area is not tiny, unfortunately. It's not huge, but it's not... It definitely takes some time to wander around. Okay. Let's go see what's going on with my messages. Ambrosia's tack, Martell apples. Nice. Okay. So Clairview. Oh, I can't go there right now. I see how it is. Okay. I'm gonna go to the bathroom and check on my puppy. Be right back. Okay. Leave alone, puppies. Don't you both bother me. Ugh. Sorry for the sucky mouth noises.
Do you think it was wise to leave, Gav? He didn't seem pleased.
I needed his eyes and nose in Dhalmekia. I'm not about to let Kupka take us unawares. Besides, he has a knack for that sort of thing.
That he does.
And wasn't it Sid who said that matters such as these are best left to dominance? Especially should one of his beloved opportunities to grow and change present itself.
Oh boy. Obviously.
I always knew that I would return one day. Return to Ironhome.
For what?
After learning the truth, you were given the chance to face your past. If I am to continue at your side, I must do the same.
We will face it together then.
To the end.
Come on.
Bloodlines.
How far do you think your mother's reach extends? Will we find the same tragedy in the south as we did at Martha's Rest?
More than likely. Which is why we should hurry. There are still many settlements between here and Port Isolde. We visit as many as we can and hear their stories. Starting with the village of Amber. Faster!
Six skill. Totally worthless. Interesting. Okay, so we'll make our way down here eventually. It was nice to get a lay of the land, though. There we go.
Come on.
Let's go, girl. It's a wyvern. Just out here. Being out here.
Thanks, girl.
Mockery of justice is what it is. Lord Elwyn would never have stood for this.
Quiet, you! I think we're loyalists.
Jill, look.
Rosaria must be cleansed of the stain which befouls her, that she might rise once again from the ashes to welcome a new dawn. 'Twould be a pity to make examples of you all, for the transgressions of but a handful.
Of course, your lordship. You shall have our full cooperation.
What business could the Black Shields have in a village this small? There's barely room to hide a bearer.
Then they must be here for something else.
You fancy dancing a gallows jig like the
Excuse me, but what was all that about earlier?
You haven't heard? Someone's been stirring up trouble. There have been attacks on the garrison, supplies stolen. They even said the Empire wants answers, and what the Empire wants, Empire gets.
Don't they just?
Keep your ears open, eh? The Black Shields will pay good coin for information on the culprits. You'd have to be dull as a sack of stones to think.
We're going hunting for outlaws.
I ain't got much, but what's mine is yours, for a price. Get to the roads now.
You seen him, didn't you?
I'm sorry.
The Black Shields. Just now. You seen them, didn't you? At least I think they was the Black Shields. Can't say I ever saw one before.
Was this the first time they visited the village?
Well, what do you think? Amber's the arse end of nowhere. And they thought we might be harbouring firebrands. Huh. If only we were. I might have turned them in and become a Black Shield myself.
You don't think these firebrands the Empire is looking for could be us, do you?
I don't know. But we need to find out.
Yeah.
Greetings, friend. We are travelers.
I know that. What do you want?
We couldn't help noticing those Imperial soldiers who were here earlier.
Don't you go telling these strangers a thing. I speak for the people of this village, and we have nothing more to say to you. You are to leave Amber and never come back.
May I at least ask why?
I don't know who you are or what brings you here, but your presence puts us all in grave danger. The Empire is a harsh master. Its demands are great, and its justice swift. But as long as we keep our heads down and pay our tributes, we are left alone. Some might call it submission. But if it will spare my people the Viceroy's wrath, then I will gladly submit. This village will not become another East Pole.
Then we shall be on our way. These people live with a knife to their throats. In the mistaken belief that if they cooperate, my mother will show them mercy.
Obedience bought with fear.
Are you all right?
Sorry, It's nothing. We still don't know who the Black Shields are looking for.
Well, whoever they are, the Imperials deem them worth pursuing to the back of beyond. But other than Martha, who else in Rosari would have the courage to stand against the Empire? A new ally would certainly be welcome. Can we find them before the Imperials do? Perhaps the next village will yield more answers.
Perhaps.
Let's go.
Ready, go?
Well, can't do much if they're gonna be, you know.
This pass will take us through the mountains.
And directly into the path of whoever or whatever lurks here.
Ever since the Apodatory, we've seen more and more of these echoes.
What do you think is waking them? The Mothercrystals collapse?
I have an idea. You're not. More of my mother's men. Straight home now. It's over.
have to keep turning my head back there just to make sure the dogs aren't actually hurting each other. Ah, children. Okay. Puppies are being so needy. Dear God. Okay. Let's go this way.
Blood,
Oh.
Clive.
And still wet.
You were told to stay in your homes.
The Black Shields.
You know who we are. And still, you would bear your steel. Why then, we owe you our thanks. To dwell in darkness, that we may purge the night and welcome lasting dawn. On these, our swords we swear.
Say that again. I'll show you a true shield to Rosaria. It's over. Farewell. Farewell.
Done. Okay.
Tell me what I want and the end will be swift. Who are you looking for?
Why, you? We come bearing a message. Your friends have been found. The branded you freed from our camps. They await you in Ordeal. Guardians of the Flame.
Those are Old Hill's gates.
Then we hurry.
Need to see what's going on with the puppies. Okay. They both got really quiet all of a sudden. I was like, oh no, did somebody kill somebody else? That'd be sad.
Find something, boy. Death.
Oh, found her.
Wow.
This was my mother's doing.
But why? Why would anyone...
I don't know. I never truly understood her. But this...
Oh, Clive.
I will learn what madness drives her, and I will end it. We should go.
Yes.
We can't leave them here like this.
We won't. But if the Black Shields have made it this far south, they may already be in Port Isolde.
Ain't that the truth? Just say, we find your mom, we kill her, we're done.
We're approaching Buick Bridge. Though I doubt the Empire would let us cross over to Rosalith.
Faster!
That'll do, girl.
Probably not, but I mean, it's not like they have.
I did, Mummy. I could hear him shouting from down the road. Hush, no.
They're all Rosarian.
But this is their home.
I'm hungry.
Well, might get a chance to beat your mom, Clive.
No use calling Ambrosia now. Ambrosia won't help me here. Come on. Fly, Ambrosia.
The Lazarus. What happened to this place?
My mother happened. The nobles who lived here didn't stand a chance. Let's hope my uncle fared better. That's the main gate. And it looks like we're not the only ones hoping to get in.
Let us pass! My children are starving! Have mercy! Voice-ridden dogs they are! You can't ignore us forever!
Let us in, or we'll die on your doorstep!
Better out there than in here!
More than enough room to
Fuck off!
Find the chinless bastards! Those crystals belong to us all!
I said, where were you, filth?
Back to your sties!
Cut you down where you stand!
Destroy it!
No chance of slipping through unnoticed. We'll need to find another way in. I thought we might be able to reason with the guards. Or at least bribe them.
I suspect everyone in that crowd thought the same. Was that the only way in?
Officially, yes. Strictly speaking, no. My uncle once told me that the nobles had tunnels built, so that they could visit town without having to walk amongst the rabble. But Lazarus... We'll find our way into the city there.
If you're sure.
Oh boy.
The entire place looked abandoned. Do you think it's safe?
Define safe.
As long as it is abandoned.
Black light burns.
The good news is we haven't seen a single black shield since Old Hill.
Maybe they found who they were looking for.
Or we just managed to murder most of them. They're out and about anyway.
This is nothing like I remember it.
How quickly a crown can lose its luster.
Very overgrown. It's like my side yard.
Not abandoned then.
Oi! Visitors!
Apologies. We'll show ourselves out.
Well, they all want to die.
Or not.
So good.
I've only ever seen one man fight like that. And he's long dead.
Then perhaps it's time you joined him.
The blessing of the Phoenix. It can't be. I was there when you died. Huh? Forgive me, my lord. I knew not whom I addressed. You have naught to fear from us. Founder, it really is you.
It is. So wait.
We can speak inside.
Sorry, I roughed up your men. Hopefully I didn't kill anyone.
And those who wouldn't bend the knee?
We left before the Empire could make examples of us, though we didn't go far. And we banded together to form the Guardians of the Flame soon after. Alas, there is only so much a handful of aging shields can do against the might of an empire. But we've seen to it that their stay has been anything but pleasant. Of late, though, we've had our hands full just trying to keep the Duchy's few remaining bearers out of the Imperial's clutches.
The Cullings. We saw what happened in Old Hill.
Aye. The foul work of the Black Shields and their mistress.
You mean my mother? But it doesn't make sense. Even knowing what I know about her. Her hatred for bearers was no secret, but she wouldn't have been ignorant of their value to the realm.
No offense, my lord. But in case you haven't noticed, the Lady Annabella couldn't care less about the realm. She barely even cares for her own home. That much has been plain since the slaughter at Eastpool. And, since granting the Holy Emperor a new heir, her obsession with bearers only seems to have grown. As to why, I don't know. Maybe she can't bear the thought of anyone having the power to challenge her beloved son.
Her son?
Sir Wade, the Black Shields have broken camp. They march in full force for Buick Bridge.
Then so do we. Make ready. This is their main host. If we remove the head, perhaps we can prevent what happened at the docks from happening somewhere else. If I do nothing, then the blood of their next victims will be on my hands.
Yours and ours. We too have witnessed the crimes these men who dare call themselves shields have committed in my mother's name. It cannot be allowed to continue. We must put a stop to this madness.
We must. So let us go with you. For the good of Rosaria.
I was hoping you'd say that. Very well. If that is your wish, I would be honored to serve at your side.
And we at yours.
So, Wade, let us do our duty.
With pleasure, my lord.
I imagine this endeavor will require more than just our wits.
Then let's hope Sir Wade has a good quartermaster.
We'll show them that the fire is on.
You are welcome to what little we have managed to salvage.
Desert Rose. Interesting.
Will that be all? Of course, my
I have a couple
lord.
of them.
It has been an honor.
Tell us then, Sir Wade. What is your plan?
Nothing fancy. You, Lady Jill and I make for Buett Bridge and provoke the main host at their encampment. Sensing an opportunity to end the Guardians, the Black Shields will call for reinforcements, who will be met from the rear by parties of my brothers hidden throughout the surrounding hills. This will allow us to wage battle on the bridge without fear of being overwhelmed. While the Black Shields have an advantage in numbers, you see, they prefer to fight in small units, which we can use to our advantage.
How small exactly?
Small enough, now that I have you and Lady Jill for company. I doubt I could have done this on my own.
But until we arrived, that was your plan. You haven't changed a bit.
So Wade, the bearers from Old Ed have been laid to rest.
Very good. Now make ready for battle.
As you command.
Thank you, Sir Wade. Perhaps now they will find peace.
There is but one thing which will grant them peace. Putting an end to the Black Shields.
And so we shall.
Let's go.
May the blessing of the Phoenix go with you.
No. You have no reason to be barking, child.
How long have you been pursuing the Black Shields?
Since they burned their first village. We tracked down the bastards responsible and fed their corpses to Stillwind. Suffice to say, that got their attention. It's been a game of cat and mouse ever since. There they are. On your command, my lord.
Thanks, Gal.
Let's go. We about to start a royal skirmish. Let's go.
What is it now? I told you!
We bear a message for the Vicereine. From the Guardians of the Flame.
Ha! You presume to tell us that a pair of filthy vagabonds, a woman and a dog, could guard aught against the might of the Black Shields? Then come! Die along with your flame! For Azaria!
For Azaria!
God, if Clive could go dominant, this
Your
would be...
petty revolution ends here. On these our swords we swear.
Bloody hell! Reinforcements from the far bank!
Another wyvern to fight their battle for them.
Slow.
More dragons.
Worms. The Imperials aren't taking any chances. I can't say I'm flattered.
noble
Another
stand, albeit a misguided one. In taking it, you have but proven our point. That this land is in dire need of cleansing.
So wait! There's no one left to keep them occupied. We need to finish this.
You mean finish him? Too slow. To me!
I'm sorry, but you're dead. Goodbye. No chance.
I don't see any more.
Nor do I. The plan worked.
It did. It bloody worked. We sent every last one of the rotten bastards straight to the mud. My, Lord, perhaps this will be enough to stop the Cullings. For the time being, at least.
Perhaps. Though I doubt my mother will take this loss well. She'll move swiftly to see her minions' ranks replenished.
And then it will all begin again. I often wonder if the nation we once knew is gone for good. Her fields rot. Her people starve. We battled to preserve the flame that was, but for every foe we fell, another springs up in its place. Yet be that as it may, it is still our home, and we must fight for it, as we always have, and always will. For as long as the Firebird's flame burns in our hearts, the Duchy cannot die, and her loyal subjects may dream of a day when the Rosarian standard flies over Rosalith once more.
So wait,
Think we should fall back to Port Isolde before the garrison sends reinforcements? A sound strategy, my lord.
What are you puppies doing? You both playing? Okay.
And how long has my uncle been funding you and your comrades' endeavors?
Since the beginning. Lord Byron was the first person I turned to after forming the Guardians. And had I known of this tunnel back then, I wouldn't almost have been hanged by the city guard for trying to sneak over the wall.
I suppose a formal request for an audience would have appeared suspicious.
And appearances must be maintained. Were the Vice-Regency to catch wind of Lord Byron's involvement in our movement, they'd seize his estate and send him to the gallows, where he would be of no use to anyone. And so, though it sickens him to the soul, he plays the part of the loyal lord, knowing that one wrong move might prove his downfall. It is why he remains ever vigilant.
Don't be surprised if he refuses you an audience. Especially since you're famously dead.
Then I will have to think of a way to prove that I am neither wraith nor wrongdoer.
I might have something which could help with the latter.
Gonna give me a seal, Wade.
It's the mark of the
Of course
Guardians.
it's gonna be seal.
Display it, and those who love Rosaria will know where your loyalties lie.
I shall wear it with pride.
Be sure that you do. I don't want my men attacking you again. Unless you deserve it. If only Sir Tyler could have been here to see you. Or the Lord Commander.
Thank you, Sir Wade. If there is ever anything you need.
I know. Go on now, my lord.
Duh. You can probably hear that growling in the background. It's quite intense.
How accommodating. Do you really think they believe we are who we say we are?
Not a chance. Right, I guess. My uncle believes we're imposters here to rob him. And means to string us up himself.
Man comes up with his axe. He's like, I'm ready. I'm ready for murder.
Imagine my surprise when I was told my nephew had come to visit. Clive Rosfield died long ago. And for uttering his name here, you shall pay with your tongue! You would mock me as well?
It is I, Sir Crandall of Camelot, loyal servant to her serene holiness, Saint Sybil the Unshod. Meadow, thou vile sorcerer, for thy crimes against church and crown, I shall have thy head.
Wonky ass shit.
Curse thee, infectious flax wench. Even in death, must thou plague me still? Very well. I shall open the gates of hell, that thou might see thy charge once more.
Bravo, Uncle. You're still the finest Maddo in the twins.
Oh, Clive, my dear boy, it's really you. You always were fond of that scene from The Saint in the Sanctuary. Never did let me play Sir Crandall.
I have a favor to ask, Uncle Byron.
Rutherford, inform the kitchens. There'll be guests. We dine immediately.
But, Uncle...
You can't very well regale me with the tale of your miraculous preservation on an empty stomach. Go on, sit. See that you use the good plates, Rutherford.
So you arrived late to one of her cullings, did you? Since becoming Vicereine, Annabella has been a constant thorn in Rosaria's side, but these atrocities are a new low. Something has changed. Quite what, I don't know, but the woman we knew is gone, and a monster sits in her place.
A monster.
For better or worse, I've been charged with governing this town, and thus must maintain the illusion of obedience. That's all I can do to aid Wade and his merry band of revolutionaries.
So he's told us. You have risked much for Rosaria. Our nation will be forever in your debt.
It has been 20 years, Clive. The nation your father and your forefathers fought to defend is no more. Perhaps it would be otherwise had I the courage of my brother. All right, if it's a ship you require, a ship you shall have. I've a galley in port, but recently relieved of her cargo. She can be outfitted for the voyage in a matter of weeks.
So you believe us, then? About everything?
Believe you? Ha! Only a fool would believe even half of the things you claim. But until tonight, only a fool would have believed my nephew still lived. And besides, I have it on good authority that Clive is telling the truth.
Whose authority?
By your own, of course. You've always been a terrible liar.
Is that true?
It's not untrue.
Let's say no more about it, eh? It wouldn't do to linger on my nephew's greatest failing. The one thing I cannot believe, though, is all this about you being Sid. You were always such a good boy, but now you're quite the outlaw. Which, if I'm not mistaken, would make me an outlaw's uncle. Right then, who shall we pillage first? Rutherford, fetch me my cutlass.
Jesus Christ.
This will be fun.
Clive is quite the, character for an uncle.
Over there. Go on.
She's a fine ship, isn't she? Once outfitted, she'll bear us across the boiling sea to Drustinus in the space of 3 days. Something on your mind?
Monsters. When I served the Iron Kingdom, I did so because I saw no other choice. Because once they learned that the lash would not move me, they turned it on those who could. And so I became their puppet. I let them pull my strings, telling myself it was not my hand that swung the sword, but another's. I removed myself from the truth so I wouldn't feel the pain it caused. And before I knew it, I no longer felt anything. Anything at all. I had become a monster.
Jill.
I don't want to be a monster, Clive. Do you understand? I want to choose a different path, a better path. To live on my own terms. But before I can do that, I need to come to terms with my past.
And when you do, I'll be standing there with you, just as you stood with me.
Thank you, Clive. I must atone for my sins. Only then, when it's done, will the monster cease to be.
Just promise me that you won't die with it. Now, let's get some sleep. The journey back to Benamir is long, and there is much to tell the others.
Dude, she just wants you to hold her. Give her a big hug. Why you gotta be this so difficult, my boy? Stop. Here be monsters.
Only the Founder knows what awaits us in the Iron Kingdom. But Vivian could probably make an educated guess.
Oh, there's a plus over there. What do we unlock, I wonder?
I didn't take you for...
Oh, this? Well, it's Valisthea. I borrowed it from old tomes. Oh, where's your sense of adventure, Sid? From spit roasts to
If it's my bless...
Well, I'm no hunter, Sid. But you're made of sterner stuff.
Sure, why
Something
not?
tells me you won't be taking no for an answer.
Fantastic!
So...
Chance's stew. The only problem is that while the recipe is extremely a beast, no doubt, most likely something that would make easy work of a simple cook with more broth than brawn. But
does the book say anything?
Well, only that the sweetest violets sprout atop.
Roses. One of the butchers in Martha's Rest might know something.
Great.
That monster's taken quite a liking to me.
Deadlands wouldn't be half as bad.
Oh, we get a message. Message we get. Okay. Good to know. Let's go see what that plus sign is. We unlocked something apparently.
Typical nobles.
How did we never
There are
hear
new
about
village
these
gardens every day.
Same way. How are you doing? Anything catch your eye? Think you can help?
Clive!
Is something wrong?
It's Blackthorn. And if I'm honest, he ain't been for a while. Normally, it only takes a couple of drinks to perk him back up. Something's getting him down. It's like he's lost his spark, you know? But I'm thinking he might if we both bent his ear, because he respects you, innit?
Sure, why not?
Fine. If you...
Knew you'd understand.
But if he doesn't want to talk, we let...
All right. Now, he'll only smell a rat if we both turn up at once. So, wait a bit, then...
Sure. Does this unlock some other blacksmithing thing?
Oh, I wasn't expecting you back so.
Hello, Talk.
You earned this.
A Rose is a Rose orchestration. Cleric's Medallion. Direwolf Jess.
Best of luck out there, Sid.
Still the same hunts? Yep. Okay. Oh, I should definitely save. Haven't saved in a little bit. I'll talk to Vivian in a little bit. Let's go complete the stuff I need to complete for a little bit. I say a little bit a lot right now. Just because it's too easy to say, because it just rolls off the tongue versus trying to say something else when your mouth feels funny.
That monster's taking quite a liking to me.
Ugh.
What's it got to do with me?
August was worried that something had been weighing on. I thought you might want to talk about it.
I told you not to stick your nose in.
Clive just wants to help, innit? Talk to him. You never know. Please, mate.
It's not the sort of thing you bother people about.
Why don't you tell us all this?
Karen and I have an arrangement. I keep an eye on Goots, and she shows... Anyway, the other day, she shows me a cuirass she's come by. Masterpiece of... Made my stuff look like it. I should have brought the bastard thing there and then just to study it, but I was too proud. There. You got what you came for.
All right. We're going. I always thought of old Blackthorn as a bit of a force of nature. Didn't think anything could rattle him.
Blackthorn's always taken pride in his craft. Something tells me this is only going to get worse. If he has doubts, it will affect his work.
I couldn't agree more.
He said he should have bought that cuirass. Assuming you're happy to help at it.
Too bloody right I am.
Glad to hear it.
God.
Karen, Blackthorn mentioned that you'd recently come by a leather cuirass.
And he ain't been himself since he saw it.
Sorry, sold it already. Didn't think Blackthorn cared for it the way it did, but it was nicely put together, that's for certain. Even if the bloke makes all his stuff to order, but the fella who commissioned it refused to pay. He didn't like...
You don't know where we might find him, do you?
Like I said, he's a bit of an odd. He don't trust hunters neither, which means he spends as much time out tracking big...
I see.
He did tell me something, though. Apparently, his next commission's for a...
Here, there's a griffin on the hunt board. Now, where the bleeding hell was excited?
Thank you, Karen.
At least you admit it.
So, it sounds like going after that griffin might be the best.
I'll leave the hunting to you if you don't mind. While you get on with that, I'll ask around the markets. See if I can't sniff out who he is and where he's hiding.
Good idea. Hopefully one of us will be able to track him down.
Great. Now I gotta check out the hunt board. Find the griffin hunt.
Redlands wouldn't be half as bad without bloody dust.
Hunt the griffin. Go from there. Okay, come back around this way.
I could have sworn we had a few more. Typical nobles.
Let's see what we got. Dosmer. B rank. Cairn Norvin to Westgate. Okay.
How did we never hear? These guardians of the flame.
I did use the hut board. Okay. Glorious Gate. It's the River Gate. So technically it's closer to this. Okay. Well, it's one of these gates. It doesn't really matter. Figure out which one it is and then go from there. Let's go. Okay. Later, fellas.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the west side of the gate, so... That's a wyvern. Not up there.
All right. All right. Straight home now.
Chronolith? What do chronoliths do? Okay. I guess it's possible the griffin's like up here somewhere. Like in the actual ruins area over here.
Griffins don't exactly make for easy prey. Let's hope our craftsman hasn't bitten off more than he can chew.
Oh, there it is. Dosmer, rank B, 20 renown, over 10,000 gil. That's pretty nice.
The work will have to wait.
Sharp.
Oh god. Whirling jail. Picking up. Oh god.
Over here.
Freaking.
Not good. Come on. Guess we're all ready.
There we go. Scarletite. Meteorite. Poor Griffin.
Is something there, boy? Could that be our man? Are you all right?
Dare say I'll survive. That griffin caught me before I could get an arrow off. Must have lost...
More likely than not.
The name's Camille. I'm a
Not so lowly from what I hear. Do you remember selling to a merchant, but...
She's not neat. Bought a caress from me after I lost my buyer. Didn't stop her bartering me down to a pittance. She's...
It's not her who sent me.
Well...
You should be. He's a
Blacksmiths are proud folk. And I don't imagine an impressive swordsman like yourself would be... I'd dearly love to help. Actually...
What is it?
Treated leather. Same stuff. If your man's as skilled as he...
You sure?
Well, and thanks to you, I'll be going home with all the griffin hide I can catch. Short of showing him how to make the thing myself, that is. But there are rules.
In that case?
I'd be much obliged if you would. Right. You send your blacksmith my regards.
Will do.
Okay.
Hopefully this will sweeten Blackthorn's mood.
Alright, so there's a place called Clairview, which is right here. Which is where our other C rank is that we need to get. Let's go looking for our C rank, shall we?
Keep them pilchards nice and chill.
Look at this place.
They're called the Angel of Death, but we don't know what they are.
Fly, Ambrosia.
I figure we'll have to go look around a little bit. It's gotta be in some weird corner or something of the place, because it's gonna be... some creature that doesn't have a picture. But there'll be something odd. Could be a raptor. That would actually make a lot of sense. So that's technically part of the dragon's area there. But the little hidey hole thing over there is not. So it still could be the Dragon Avis. That's an arachne. Wait. It's a Garuda. A minor Garuda. What are you doing here? Aruna, rank C.
That's what I think it is. This isn't gonna be easy.
me boy.
This has to be the Angel of Death they were talking about. Only thing that makes sense, really.
Rest well. I know I will.
Okay. Go here really quick. Find out what's going on with this, what do you call it? The, excuse me. Excuse me again. This meal that we plan on making.
Thank you for sticking with us.
Those of us who are still here have to look after each other.
Unwanted violets.
Boy, you're looking for scorpion tail. Used to chuck them in the pot when there weren't nothing, even if they were.
Do the scorpion...
I dare say they do.
Thank you.
Great. Scorpions.
Stay sharp.
Stop.
After what the Empire did to Martha. Don't you go causing any trouble now.
Let's go, Ambrosia. Ba-ba-ba. I'll run back over this way. Kill some scorpions. And turn in all the quests at once.
Scorpions. At least I know what I'm up against.
And done.
I bet it.
Game's like, are you sure you want to? I'm gonna go back here with these quests. And the answer is yes. Okay. Turn these in. Get a little more renown.
I didn't.
Marvelous!
You wouldn't be wrong.
Let's see how the dish turns out. I think it's going to be terrible because it's scorpion tails, but you never know, I guess.
I present Chance's stew. Grab a spoon, Sid. Let's eat.
I'm mad.
Well, it'll be too late.
That looks like that'll kill me. Or someone.
Odin's teeth. What an assault! And yet, up through the pungent... it takes a moment to recover from such an onslaught of flavors, but I must share this gift. A single mouthful, and Molly will be breeding.
I'm sure she will.
Jesus. All right.
You look like you could do with a drink. As if setting up... Good news, everyone. The casks have been liberated.
I feel like you gotta do it at least once.
Oh, keep your mug handy.
Does
Can I
that
get
do
you, Sid?
anything?
Don't be a stranger, Sid.
That monster's taken quite a liking to Lady Karen.
And with a bit of luck. How'd it go, Clive? Did you find him, or does...
I found him. And he asked me to give you this.
You're joking.
He said he wouldn't teach you how to work it, but that if you were as skilled as you sounded...
It's a good few times, too. I wonder... And that's no ordinary oil he's used to... Oh, this is fine work.
Yeah? I'll take your word for it. Here, Clive.
Camille, I believe.
I thought as much. There ain't many leather workers in the realm daft enough to do their own hunting, see? And his name... Turns out he's from Tabor. But our friend Camille guards a long-held family secret.
Then we better keep this close to watch.
Listen, still.
That was the idea. Clive's idea, anyway.
It's good to have you back, Blackthorn.
Just don't expect me to go turning out work like this. There's a reason he does his own hunting. He knows exactly what hides to look for. And don't get me started on how much oiling this... I reckon I can make something about as good. Something occurs. Anyway, enough narrowing. I've got work to be getting on with.
Nice.
Looks like we won't be needing a new blacksmith.
As if there was a better one out there. I wouldn't have been the same anyway. No one spins a yarn like old Blackthorn in his cut. Right, now that's sorted. I've got duties to attend to. Thanks, Clive. You've given me my mate back.
But what does it do for me? Something. Drake belt design. Ah, I can make a new belt. Haven't gotten one in a while.
What do you need? So, what'll it be?
Electrum. You get it from a notorious mark. That's a really big boost.
That it? Fine.
Interesting. Okay.
Deadlands wouldn't be half as bad without all the bloody dust.
Wait, can I go there?
I could have sworn we had a few more. Typical nobles.
Back again, Lord Rosfield. I'm touched that you should find me such good company.
It is not your company, but your counsel that I seek on this occasion.
Ever the charmer. What will it be today, then?
The Iron Kingdom. I need to know what to expect.
You'll soon be setting sail for Drake's Breath, then, I take it. The Mothercrystal that rises from the boiling sea.
There was a time when a true-blooded Rosarian had only to brave the waves to visit it. But then the Ironblood made their move. As you know, the Iron Kingdom rules over the islands to the west of Storm. Or rather, its church does. But this is not the pragmatic approach to state religion employed by the Holy Empire to manipulate the masses. No, the Iron Kingdom is the literal embodiment of the crystalline orthodoxy. And so, if one is to understand it, one must start there. As the name implies, the orthodoxy holds the Mothercrystals sacred, and they do not take kindly to heathens plundering the objects of their worship for the means to fill washtubs and light lamps with frivolous feats of magic. Indeed, the faithful consider ether a sinful thing, a poison no less. And to them, a dominant is an instrument of evil, albeit one they have proven only too happy to turn against their enemies. Some 80 years ago in Northern Storm, Drake's eye collapsed. Soon after, in pursuit of ether and with the Blight at their backs, the Northern Territories descended upon the Grand Duchy of Rosaria. And when the Shields of the Flame marched north to meet them, the Iron Kingdom spied an opportunity. A few short days later, the Crusaders landed on the island of Mount Drastanus, home of Drake's breath, and plucked it from the Duchy's grasp. Rosaria tried to reclaim it, of course, but to no avail. I doubt more than a handful of Duchy men have set foot on its shores in your lifetime. Nor are they like to again, under the Empire's stewardship, meaning the Iron Blood will keep their island, and with it, the foothold they need to march on mainland soil when next they spy an opportunity. The Mother Crystal is both the object of the Iron Blood's worship and their gateway to the continent, making Drastanus the holiest of holy grounds, from which the Orthodox Crusade shall one day sail forth to claim the remaining Mother Crystals, or die trying.
My father and my grandfather both traded blows with the Iron Blood for control of Drake's breath. Had things unfolded differently at Phoenix Gate, we would have sent our entire fleet against them.
But instead, they sent their fleet against Rosaria, sacked the capital, killed the men, and captured the women, including Jill. I'd say you'd be forgiven for wanting a little revenge, Clive.
My only aim is to destroy the Mother Crystal. But thank you all the same. Not much else to do here. Let's see if Jill's ready.
Hopefully.
How did we never hear about these
guardians of the
Same way they never heard about.
Welcome to the Patron's Whisper. Is everything we've received and everything promised all yours? Best of luck out there, Sid.
Fancy a look at the list, do you? Always something in there.
Alright, let's go. Yeah, I bet we're gonna fight Leviathan. They're gonna have another dominant this time. And it's gonna be water.
It will be over soon.
You ready?
I think so.
Jill. When you told me you had to come to terms with your past, you weren't talking about destroying Drake's breath, were you?
No. I spoke of Imran, the leader of the Crystalline Orthodox. The man who made me do all those unspeakable things. I'm going to kill him. It's what I need to do to put the past behind me. What I need to move forward. And I know that I can do it. If you're there beside me.
Always.
And I'll be beside you, too. We'll bring down the Mother Crystal together. All while Sid looks on.
We'll make him proud.
The question is, what happens when we take down this one? Will it conjure anima again? Not anima, Ultima. I'm a little worried we'll end up unleashing Ultima again. Or something worse. Also, if we get a Final Fantasy XIV Leviathan fight, I'm gonna laugh.
Useful trick. Freezing and thawing the spray to make mist. How did you learn to use your powers like this?
The Masters made me do it. When the Crusaders took to the seas, to keep the fleet's movements from prying eyes. I'm fine.
No, you're not.
This may be the only chance I get to go back. My only chance to put things right. I have to do this. Whatever the cost.
All right.
I have this really bad fear. Because Clive's gotta get Shiva's power at some point.
There she is.
Does that mean Jill's going to die? That would be sad.
Drake's breath.
It's pretty impressive, honestly.
Strong currents, sharp rocks, and ether floods. Let's not forget them. This island is a natural fortress.
But safety breeds complacency. Allowing a single rowing boat to slip in unseen.
The sanctuary is inside the mountain. If we follow the old trail, we should be able to enter by the back gate.
All right. Let's go.
Fire and ice.
I always imagined when I came here it would be to reclaim it.
It used to belong to Rosaria, didn't it?
Once, though it's been in the Ironblood's clutches for far too long.
As was I. For 13 years, this rock was my home. I know its secrets only too well. This path was abandoned after an ether flood. They don't guard it anymore.
The perfect little shortcut. They're all Akashic.
The ether flood must have spread. It was never as bad as this before. And the only way past them is through them.
Music here is pretty intense.
Was that an earthquake?
They happen all the time. That wasn't even a bad one. It's nothing to worry about.
This one.
Wasn't even a bad one. Makes me think this is probably a volcano.
This will be easy.
Oh god.
The old arboretum is just up here. We'll enter the caves from there.
Old arboretum. Great. This is going back the way we came. Darn it. Okay. Got turned around. That's okay. I was like, oh, we're going back down again? Well, okay. Breath of Wind, Aerial Blast. That's gonna be a creature. A new Morble, maybe. Maybe a Grand Morble. Maybe an Ochu.
Ugh, look at this place. What a mess.
Wait.
Big fish. Yeah. It's an Akashic Morble.
It's turned.
Nothing a shield of Rosaria can't handle.
We already killed one before.
Be sure to keep clear of his paw.
Believe me, I mean to. That's foul.
Don't breathe it in.
Heaven wins!
And done. Too bad. Excuse
Press
me.
on.
Yes.
I was wondering when we find another marble. See, this is a volcano, I'm pretty sure. Like, the reason why there are earthquakes
It's like a furnace in here.
is you're in the
Inside
middle
the
of a volcano.
You get used to the heat. Though I don't remember it being like this hot.
Was that what cause for concern?
It was. And they're getting bigger. Something's wrong.
You're finished! This one. It's over. Get off.
I like how the Iron Blood theme is just this really dramatic, like, lore theme. I don't know which way is where. Which way goes where. If these both went the same way.
Stay down. Too slow.
Done. Okay. So that is just an item down there. Probably a chest too, so let's go get that really quick. I should just ask Torgal which direction's what. Okay, so that is the right way. Or are they all the right way? Who knows? We'll know soon enough. They all eventually meet up at the same room. It'll be funny.
Nice try.
Okay, so this was the same way now. So they both do connect up. I think. Yeah, they both did connect up, okay.
Fuck. Is there no other way across?
Nope. Cause some serious structural damage to the bridge.
Let's not do that again.
Like, the bridge is going to fall apart. I'm surprised the bridge did not collapse from that. Because, massive temperature change. Dear God.
They don't look too tough.
Perhaps not alone, but in numbers like these.
Brother!
going this way.
Let's look for another path.
Okay.
Drake's breath.
We're nearly at the oratory.
The oratory. Fun.
What the hell is that?
I have absolutely no idea.
Well, whatever it is, I don't think it's friendly.
Oh god.
Get him!
Oh god. Freaking slime. Is that strong? You get a fire dragon. A giant bomb. Oh no.
One of the demons. But they never leave the lava.
If I didn't know better, I think this volcano was about to erupt.
Oh boy. It's a fire one.
They're peaceful creatures.
Then this one must be the exception. Let's try.
Goodbye. Mini boss done.
You hurt?
Just hot. Thank you.
Quite a commotion our friend made. Let's hope the guards didn't hear it.
The gate to the inner chambers is just up there. Then we make for the sanctuary. I need to finish this. Before the heat finishes me.
Hear, hear.
Let's all be impressed by the fact that Clive.
Living quarters. It was always a hive of activity.
Sounds like we'll have a hard time staying out of sight.
We won't have
is wearing this
There's
giant
someone there I
jacket.
should very much like to see.
He's wearing this giant jacket and outfit, and he's not warm at all. He's like, oh, this is fine. Let's go. Sneaky, sneaky.
Lady Marley. It's me. By the mother. Jill, it can't be. It is, my lady. We cannot talk here. Come with me. I'm so glad you're safe.
And you.
Why ever would you risk coming back? Are you a fool, girl? Or have you grown tired of your freedom already?
Forgive me, my lady. But I had to come back. There are things I left undone. Tell me, where is the Patriarch?
At this hour, he'll be in the Comric, giving thanks.
You mean... Oh, fiend! Clive, we have to get to the sanctuary. Now. Lady Marley, you must flee this place, gather your things, and go.
Now listen here, Jill.
We have company.
This way. Follow this passage. It leads straight to the Comric. Go on, stop dawdling.
Thank you. You were always so kind to me.
My light in the darkness. Take care, my lady, please. You deserve better than this. A long and happy life, promise me. I'll live if you promise to do the same.
Come on, Clive. We're nearly at the comwreck.
All right.
Here's our welcoming party.
I've had enough of their hospitality.
You're finished.
Okay. We have that way and we have this way over here. I'm gonna assume that's the right way. Yeah. No items over here though. Darn. Okay. Let's get going. It's really hard to talk in this game because there's just so much going on constantly that it's kind of like, oh dear God. Okay. Let's get through here.
How many of them are there?
Too many.
Thanks for taking care of the ads, Jill. This place is kind of terrifying and ominous, honestly. Okay, yeah. So this way then. bonus skill.
Clive, there's something I need you to know. I saw the Patriarch do things no one should have to see. And so I swore that he would die by my hand.
I understand. I faced my demons, then you must face yours.
We're nearly there. Just one last push.
I got splendid salt.
Clive does not F around. Well, there's the Mothercrystal. Looks like a sacrifice. Yep.
Shiva's dominant. Come to beg forgiveness for your failure.
For years, I followed your orders. Fought your wars. All to protect the children you took. Just as you took me. And what did you do in return? You put them in chains and you slit their throats!
Their souls were sullied with the stain of ether. I merely cleansed them of their corruption. A penance paid, just as the Holy Mother wills it! Repent, abomination! For a monster like you To set foot in the Holy Cymric is in itself a crime deserving of death.
You're right. I am a monster. And my soul is stained black. Though not by ether. But by the evil of men like you, who made me close my heart and drown in darkness when I should have raged against it. This is my penance. I will be your monster no more. Nor will I suffer you to create another.
Does the beast bare its teeth at its master? Come then, Dominant. Rage, be as you have ever been. A monster!
And what are you, Imran? I was forced to kill. You do it by choice. But never again. I bowed to you once. Now it is you who shall bow to me!
Kill them.
Now!
Right.
Hey, Joshua.
Can't I do it? Please, just once.
won't take long.
Over here!
Too slow.
Oh god. Oh god.
Too slow.
Oh god. Oh god.
Nice try.
Oh god.
Get him! Over here!
Thank god. That was kind of brutal, holy hell.
Jill!
I'm going to finish this, Clive. Here. Use this.
Let's go. 2 down.
We're one step closer to freedom.
The crystal. What did you do to it?
Oh, we destroyed it.
What? But... Monster! Monster! Do you have any idea what you have done?
I do, Father. I have killed the monster and become an outlaw. May the blessing of the crystals go with you.
It's over.
It is.
And Shiva exacted her price.
She did.
Again, the burden fell to you.
And I bore it willingly. This was a sin for which I had to atone. Now I can continue at your side with my head held high.
Dog's like, we need to get out of here.
Clive, look.
It's just like the one at Phoenix Gate. Damn it. We need to leave.
Agreed. I kept my promise, and now you keep yours.
So Ultima's free of Joshua now.
This way, Your Grace.
Or he's still keeping part of Ultima contained, but he can't keep Ultima all the way contained. It's probably like a mass consciousness
You're bleeding.
that's shared between all the
I
crystals.
have a tonic which will...
I thank you for your kindness, truly. But I assure you, I will survive. Please, save your medicines for those who need them most.
Oh, well, if you're sure.
For a moment there, I felt my brother's presence.
You did?
I fear he is in Ultima's thoughts again.
He definitely is.
But why now, after 5 years of silence? I cannot keep him sealed away much longer.
Your Grace.
No, do not dirty your hands. Look at them all. Like a river flowing to the sea.
Or moths to a flame, perhaps. The crystalline dominion their light in the darkness. More and more lose their homes to the Blight and set out in search of sanctuary, while others lose their fortunes to the Dhalmekian levies and leave to find new livelihoods. What is it that you seek in the Dominion, Your Grace?
Oh, Dion Lesage.
You mean the Crown Prince of Sanbreque?
He has many titles. Dion the Bold, Prince of Dragoons, Odin's Nemesis, or simply Bahamut. I met him once, when we were children. He was a chivalrous soul even then, and has served his empire indefatigably ever since.
And you are confident that he will listen to what you have to say?
Our world lurches ever closer to the abyss, and a hidden hand ushers us onward. Ultima's influence extends to every nation, Sanbreque included. If His Highness is the man I believe him to be, and I pray that he is, this truth will not have escaped his notice. As the Mothercrystals fall, the eternal flame wavers, and the azure sky begins to bruise. How lucky we were to be blessed by the crystals, and yet how spoiled. Like canaries in a gilded cage, growing fat on seed. But now, the bars are closing in, and we must take flight. Painful though it be to leave our home behind, it is what we must do to be free. Which is it that men cannot live without? A blessing that leads to damnation, or a freedom that leads to deprivation? I do not yet know the answer to that question. Do you, Clive?
Your Grace, let us find a place to rest a while. We can return by the Dhalmekian trail once you have recovered your strength. I realize your duty is pressing, but if your health should fail...
I know. Thank you, Yote.
The army's attempt to breach the Empire's defenses and gain the Isles of Ark has failed yet again.
Only because your fleet has proved as impotent as a eunuch on laying night. Would you rather we simply fell back to the capital?
Enough, both of you. All here agree that the Empire cannot be allowed to maintain its illegitimate claim on the Dominion. However, our casualties mount with each passing day.
There is a literal sea twixt you and your prize. The armies of Sanbreque need but sit back and watch as you harmlessly lap against their walls. They are dug in like ticks and seek to draw out this siege, knowing the capital's stores are nigh bottomless. And what of our wise rulers? Goaded into war without any thought as to what chaos it might reap. Republican soldiers starve while waiting for orders from Randalar.
If you would but take the field, their bellies would be full by nightfall.
If I take the field, so too will Bahamut, and our duel will shake the island to its foundations. Instead of liberating the Dominion, you would doom it to destruction. Unless that is what you desire.
If our learned advisor has a solution to propose, we should be glad to consider it.
Oh, God.
Is that the Emperor's?
What is the meaning of this, Lord Kupka?
What it means is that I am disinclined to advise you any longer. The looks on their faces when you walked through those doors. A perfect picture of stupefaction. They could not believe their eyes. Though I confess, I had my own doubts whether or not you would accept my invitation. Such shocking news. Sid isn't a son of a whore. He's the son of an empress. Your own dear Clive.
Absurd. Who fed you these lies? I have never spent a moment among criminals, save at the gallows. I came here with my son, not to entertain your baseless accusations, but to put an end to the senseless hostilities between our nations.
Very well. You need only agree to the terms I set out. Sid took the life of someone dear to me, a woman by the name of Benedicta. I swore to take his in turn. This would not be disagreeable to you, I take it. You would finally be rid of the stain on your noble name. In return, I will leave Sanbreque in your capable hands. Your Imperial Majesty.
And all for the love of a common whore. Dominant or no, one cannot hide one's breeding. And beasts will ever belong with beasts. There are greater things in store for you, my darling Olivier. Soon enough, you shall be the crown prince of Sanbreque. And when your father goes to meet Great Griga, you shall be emperor of all you survey. The old order shall come tumbling down, and you will rebuild the world in your glorious image. Soon.
Yeah, I was gonna say. She's been possessed by Ultima.
She's been in there for hours. Something must be wrong.
Is it true what I'm hearing, Cid?
One day, I want to sail all the way to the shore.
Our man in Dalamil mentioned the cook is gone.
I've done what I can, but the rest is up to you. You need to start taking better care of yourself.
Understood. And thank you.
The curse has spread. Make sure she rests.
If it hurts, you can tell me, you know. I'll understand.
I can bear it.
But you shouldn't have to. Not anymore.
This isn't just your struggle, Clive. It's ours. And when we see how hard you fight, it inspires us to do the same. Or would you rather we left you to save the world all on your own?
No. That's not... Ignore me.
Jackasses! Cock-blocked.
In here.
What's wrong?
Rosaria's under attack.
What?
Oh, great.
This isn't the Dalmekian army we're talking about. It's the men of the Rock from Drake's Fang. Hugo Kupka's private guard. There is in hell in Rosalith, trying to batter down the castle gates.
Looking for me.
Seems that way. Reckon old Hugo has finally worked out who Cid really is.
Then this is just another trap.
Ah, it's a trap, all right. The daddy of all fucking traps.
I'm going to Rosalith.
You're not serious. That's exactly what he wants you to do, Clive.
Look, I don't know why Kupka harbors such a grudge against Cid. But as long as it's left to fester, our world will never know peace. He has dragged the rest of Storm into this pointless war just to find me. Besides which, I'm not about to stand and watch while my home gets ground into the dirt. Hugo Kupka must die.
I've lost enough friends to that man already. I don't want to lose any more. So let's go and kill the bastard.
I'm coming too. After all, we're in this together.
All right. I should probably speak to Otto before leaving. We need to know what we're getting ourselves into.
I'm gonna save, and then that'll be it for tonight. So tomorrow we'll start early, around 9 or 10, and go from there. Thank you all so much for watching. It's been really good. yeah. I'll see you next time, everyone. Bye-bye.